Well, good morning, and it's not 6 o'clock yet. It's about 5:40, about 20 to 6 at the moment, and yeah, just been feeding the chicks and walking Izzy around. And I've just come down to check how they're progressed. Yeah, they're working away. The bamboo, that bamboo that you see is the outer wall. We're having two types of bamboo approach. We're having some where it's split, okay, and then it's condensed together, and then we're having some bamboo which is half bamboos, which are going to go in as well. So that's the process. So some areas will be half bamboo, some areas will be the split bamboo, and then on the inside we'll have some bamboo as well that'll be split internally, but then in other areas we will have actual timber walls, plywood walls as well, to give a balance. And then the ceiling is a high ceiling, will be also bamboo on the internal part of the roof as well. So that's as we're progressing. I think I mentioned we're making our own doors, we're making our own window frames as well with timber. Due to the rains we've been having, a fantastic earthy fragrance in the air in the morning, which is fantastic. Just very quickly, I wanted to respond to a video I sent out yesterday. In response to somebody that made comments about people my age who come to the Philippines, and putting us all under one category really of people who dump the UK and live in the Philippines, and it's until we want to come back to have medical attention, in which case, look, it was, and I didn't get into the argument, I just said, look, I wasn't, because he did say I'm being, didn't he say I was by name, but said I was talking the UK down, basically. And I'm not talking the UK down, but what I am trying to do, though, is talk the Philippines up. The Philippines gets a bad rap sometimes for not having the medical attention that it does in the UK, and I accept that. I think that's fair comment. Most people I know in the UK, though, tend to run down the NHS. I'm very pro NHS. I think it's a great service. I've been connected with it myself through Richie for many a year. In fact, here's a video of Richie when she was being interviewed on the local BBC channel, working in Chesterfield Royal Hospital. Have a look at this.
We've been to meet 3 people from Chesterfield Royal Hospital to find out about the work that they do.
My name is Maria, and I am the training supervisor for domestic and catering services at the Chesterfield Royal Hospital. Edges first, yes? I am very proud to be working for NHS. Why? Because I came from a different country. I never thought that I'm gonna be given the opportunity to not work only to work here, but to be given a big responsibility. If they're doing it wrong, let them know, please, yeah?
The ladies do a super job. Chesterfield saved my life. And yeah, they're all brilliant.
Morning, Jackie. One of my childhood dream was like, I would like to work in the hospital. And that was my dream.
So yes, absolutely. I think the NHS is a great service, and I think it's, and Rob, well, thank you, Rob, for coming in with your comments. I think, yeah, absolutely, as someone who's worked in the UK and paid my taxes and used the services, I'm still British, and if I want to go back and use the services again, I will, of course I will. But the point I was making in that video was, when it comes to things like social care, which isn't very good, that was the point I was making. I think if you look at the facts, you'll see it's quite bad. I mean, I was involved in care myself for a short period of my career, and actually at one stage even was attempting to get off the ground a care company for home services. Having completed a lot of training and development myself in it, passed several exams, I got involved in it, and I've got a partner who's also a subscriber, Sean. But I think our timing was wrong. Although we had a very good client, we then ran into COVID just at the time of us getting the company off the ground, and it then got very difficult. We hadn't got through the CQC, care quality, I can't remember what it's called now, the CQC, anyway, they measure the standards and legislation for care in general, in all aspects, from doctors, physicians, all the way through to healthcare, standard social healthcare. So I understand it, I'm very much a Brit that understands the problems with healthcare, and healthcare, people lose their houses to have very poor, inadequate healthcare as they get into later years in the UK. So if you're fortunate enough to have a house up until you're 70 and then have to find yourself going into healthcare, usually your house ends up paying for your care in many cases, and that's it. If you don't have a house and you need care, well, it's very, very poor quality healthcare, really. And that's what I was making the comparison with. Coming here, as someone that doesn't have a great deal of equity or assets behind them, for example, coming here, you probably could afford to have a live-in healthcare professional taking care of your needs on a daily basis. And that's it, that's fact. So that's the only point I want to make about it now. So, yeah, I'm certainly not anti the UK. People who do know me know I'm pro my country in many aspects of it, particularly sport and stuff like that, and NHS, because I think the NHS overall is good. It's having tough times at the moment with funding. Of course, it's expensive to run it. The government's got some difficulties, some decisions to make going forward, for sure. And the demands of the UK people are extremely high. Of course they are. Living in that type of environment, let's call it a first world environment, here people's demands are nowhere near as high. Their expectations are nowhere near as high. And that's why the average living age in the Philippines is 71, compared with the UK at 81, where that's the average age people die in the UK, 81. Here the average age is 71. So a lot of that is people falling off the back of motorcycles, I want to add. But let's be very, very clear. We know we've got a service here that is, at best, just about adequate, providing we're sensible and careful. Okay, let me go and make the coffee. And I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.